I wanted to try Blood Altar to help use it with Twilight's Remedy to try to promote a synergy to proc Twilight's Remedy. And two of my subscribers did leave comments, and allowed me to further further help me pinpoint what I was looking for. And they were right, which this is why I love my community. Blood Altar, interesting enough. It did change. It used to give like the fortitude and health increase and shit, so that doesn't apply anymore. But the one thing about this skill, it has a synergy to it, right? That heals for 46%. That can help proc Twilight's Remedy. But the problem of it is, it can only be activated when they drop below a certain point of health. And it's not viable as a synergy to proc Twilight's Remedy. It can be handy, but at the 1.5 second cast to apply the minor lifesteal, to me, it's not really attractive given the cost and that it doesn't have a secondary effect that's practical. Because to drop below, if you're a good healer, the last thing that's going to happen is your party members aren't going to drop health that fast. There are other options and abilities to slot to either proc for example, I've been using the Burning Talents to help proc Twilight's Remedy, and that definitely is more resourceful. It's true it only can hit one target for each time they synergize, but in correlated groups and Magicka, and you're calling it out, it's more effective. The problem with energy orbs, it has a global cooldown, so once again, only one person is going to get the effect from Twilight's Remedy. With this being the case now, with the global cooldowns and everything applied, it kind of makes me want to redebate maybe switching out. Maybe I'll go into Halls of Fabrication and get the set because of the applied effect to the ultimate. Because once again, it only applies to a limited amount of numbers. So it's kind of just, at this point, I could go with any other set and be better. Not to say Twilight's is bad. I still like Twilight's Remedy because of the minor force. But given the fact there's limitations, you have a limited, and that's normal. That's typical in this game. So I'm not against it. I just feel like 1.5 seconds for Blood Altar doesn't justify slotting it. And the secondary effect, people are not going to drop that low in health to really receive the benefit from this synergy in a group play. It's just, if you're a good healer, they're never going to drop that low. It is way too high to get the synergy to occur. It's like 40% health that they have to drop. And to me, it's just not worth it. It's not viable. If they drop that, the 1.5 second cast, it might be worth it just for the minor lifesteal. And then an oh shit button synergy. But at 1.5 seconds, it's not. It's just not. It's clunky. And I imagine it applies, but the Warden gets, their ability for no cast time for their lifesteal. So, and each has their pros and cons, and I get that. But honestly, I was hoping this would have been something a little bit more attractive. And I've only used it once or twice in testing it, and I've always taken it out of my rotation. And not because of what it offers, it's because of, how effective it could be. And it becomes less effective the higher you go as a healer. Beginning healers, it's more beneficial as you're learning your spells. So it gives you another healing effect as you're unlocking. That's true, but when you become completely unlocked, your passives are unlocked, Blood Altar is less attractive. Just because of the way everything works. 40%, you got to drop almost around 40% health or you between 30 to 40%. I didn't do the exact calculations to drop it to get the synergy to occur. And it's like, ooh, because if they don't hit that synergy, they're dead. And as a healer, if you neglect the heal to try to proc it, that's a bad scenario too. And minor lifesteal. Okay, so they're healing. It doesn't really offer as much given the fact that it has a cast time. So, just my opinion. This is my opinion, my findings. I had a friend of mine, Swig. He jumped on his tune. We took him out, let him take a beating, get the proc. Also, the synergy cannot occur. We couldn't get the synergy to occur within the duration. So, even within the 33 seconds, it wouldn't double proc. So, even if I was going to try to use it as a proc effect, I would have to done a recast every 8.5 seconds to try to get it to align with Twilight's Remedy and get them to drop, and it's just not viable in that instance, that scenario. But like, I imagine there's some practical applications. I'm not saying there isn't. Just for me as a healer, it's once again a little lackluster. So I wanted to get them on here, post an update, and a real quick side note. I have a couple of trolls that's been hit me up in response to some of my comments about a certain player who doesn't ever play any healers, yet comments about healers. I play every class as a healer, guys. All of them. I have the Templar. I have the Warden. I have the DK. I have the Nightblade. I have the Sork. I have them all. And a lot of people don't understand, like, there are pros and cons to each healer, right? They each offer something slightly different, but yet relative. And I'll leave it at that. And it's not for everybody. Like I said, the fact of it is, I have a Templar healer. It's just a novice. It's a novice build. It's a novice healer. You can't fuck up too much of Templar because of the way it's designed. It's pretty much like your introduction to healing. Warden, kind of the same thing. Warden's more challenging because you have to know how to control your line of sight. And it goes so on and so forth throughout your healers. The more experienced you are as a player, the more you can challenge yourself in those classes to play that role. And that's ideally what you're doing, right? And what you're missing maybe in passives, you offset with the kit, with your gear. Like the Sork, I'm using Healer's Habit. Templar, I don't need Healer's Habit. It would be pointless to put Healer's Habit on the Templar. But for the Sork, it makes complete sense because of the minor mending, right? So I think you guys, like, the trolls have to pay attention to that. Like, this is why a lot of players do take my advice serious, because I have the experience in those other class roles as healers. And I'm not saying I'm better. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to be egotistical or arrogant or, whatever. I'm just saying I have firsthand experience as a healer in all those classes. I understand that you can grab these effects by other means. They're not limited to one specific class, right? They're not. You can get everybody can get major mending. Everybody could get minor mending if you want the sets. Everybody can get, magic, right here, your minor lifesteal. Everybody can get. They all have accessibility to it. Everybody has accessibility to the tools. The question of it is, how do you put it together with each class? Some are easier than others. And Templar is the beginning novice build. That's what it is. I see your comment. Let me go ahead and check it out real quick. One second. I'll have to mute this. The thing always turns on. But meta. It's so meta. Yeah, right. I love that comment. Thank you. But yeah. That's the thing. That's what this game's founded on. It's what its principles about. You have to go ahead and understand that It's just your experience and your challenge and how you apply it. Like I always tell people, Obsidian Shard is the highest healing effect for the DK healer. You know, this heals for 7,237. It can crit. When I apply the Igneous Shield, get the major mending, and now I go back in. Now I'm healing for 8,824. So, yeah, guys, it's relative, right? It's not like they have a burst heal right here. The DK does. Nightblades. People are like, they don't have a burst heal. I'm like, Sap Essence turns to their burst heal. It's scales, though. It's a scaling effect. Yes, it's an AoE heal. But, you know, what it does is it scales. That's the difference. There are differences with each healer. Remember, keep in mind, Nightblade has to deal damage to increase its healing effects. The more it damages, the higher its healing scales. And that's what makes it a very powerful healer versus some of the other healers. But at the same time, it does have some drawbacks. If it starts dealing less, it can't deal too much damage, but you have to deal enough damage. That's the finicky part about Nightblade. You know, and you have to keep hot rotation consistent. If you can do it, it sustains very well. But if you don't know what you're doing, people will suffer for it. Same thing with the Sorc Healer. Sorc Healer has probably some of the highest heals ability, but it lacks a lot of other heals or utilities in its initial kit, so you have to offset those differences. And you're limited to its build potential. So then you're more dependent on gear selection for your Sorc Healer. It becomes very, detrimental how you build that healer. So, and so on and so forth. It goes down the line. So, once again, take it for what it's worth. But it was kind of interesting to find out about the Blood Altar. I do want to thank Swig for helping me test this today. I actually want to thank also the viewers who helped actually have intelligent conversations with me during my live stream and and being able to test this and, find out, the facts. I think Blood Altar can still be a good skill. It could be better. And I think the devs could probably take a look at this in the future. It's not it shouldn't be put on the forefront or anything like that. It's not needing a necessity. But, down the road, could, ZOS do something with this? Maybe. But we'll see. Either way. But if you have any questions or comments, post below. I want to thank you guys for watching. And once again, and always, have a nice day.